Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is... Hold on, gotta move the cup. December 12th. No, December 10th. 2015. My name's Eric Peterson. Shut up, Tom.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
We just saw a car crash.
It was.
30 seconds in.
That's what happens when I don't have the music to start me in.
What, do you use the music to look at your calendar and go, oh, okay, December, got that
It gives
one.
It gives my brain
10?
brain time to process what I need to do next.
What year is it? When January comes around, I know you're going to say 2015.
Everybody does.
Yeah, but you had one job.
I'm spectacular.
Your one job is to
at
get that
messing that job up. You'd think that after 78 episodes,
you'd have your shit together.
No, I mean, we didn't even start with like a standardized introduction, I think, until what, episode 15 or 20?
That's true, because I listened to some of the early shows a while back, and your entrance was just like, welcome to the show.
Yeah, half the time, if you just popped in, you'd have no idea what show you're listening to. One show in particular, we tried coming in with fart noises. That didn't go over so well.
Have you ever tried to start a show by fading in, and you're already in the middle of conversation, and then cut it, and then go, oh, hey.
Oh, you guys are here, huh?
You just caught us in the middle of...
I suppose we'll bring you in. Welcome. Come on. I mean, take a seat. That'd be pretty slick.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. One of these shows.
I'd like that.
Like in the middle of a really inappropriate conversation. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean by when I tell you about when I picked up the phone to you, and I just decided to tail off with some random like line.
Yeah.
And same thing. It would be so funny. You should do that one day.
We could do that. So Tom's the only one here today, mainly because this is not our traditional Sunday show.
Nope.
It is Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're recording a special.
Yes. It's the evening for me.
It's still Thursday.
I got you.
I got a package from you, Tom.
Yes, you did.
With a note.
Did you like the note?
I did, because I sent you a box of cavities, and you had to step the game up, and step the game up you did, Marcus style.
Uh-huh.
You sent me a box of full-blown dental implants. The amount of candy that is in this box is embarrassing. I sent you 8 boxes of big American-sized candy, and you send me like 50 different kinds of candy.
Yeah. I remember putting it all together. It took me quite a long time because I was taking bits out and then trying to figure out the best weight and trying to jam it all in that small box because it doesn't look very big when you look at it.
It's a weird box. I couldn't figure out how to open it.
I forgot that it kind of hooks from the bottom.
Well, and then the way that it's taped it's this brown packing tape that looks like it hides certain areas. So I'm cutting through it and nothing's happening. I'm like, what the fuck kind of box is this?
Oh, that's great.
Did you build the box around the candy?
No, it's like it was a recycled box from something else that got delivered here.
Yeah, so in the end, it's like a shoe box where the lid lifts off, but then there's hooks that clip into the side of it.
Do you not have those boxes?
Yeah, we do, but I don't expect people to ship me candy in them. I just expected it to be a standard slit down the middle. Like when you look at a box and there's not a slit down the middle and the top to open like your traditional box, your brain just kind of stops functioning for a minute.
Really? Because all my boxes come the way that one came to you.
None of mine ever do.
Right, okay.
Unless I'm buying shoes.
Even our boxes are different.
God. See, again, we have taken something that you guys started and made it better.
I don't think so.
Well, I was getting so impatient, too, because I didn't want to accidentally cut through and stab any of the candy.
Right.
But I couldn't figure out this damn box.
And that brown tape is just your standard parcel tape.
Oh, yeah, the tape's fine.
Yeah, okay, we're good on the tape.
Yes, but I prefer clear tape so as to preserve the aesthetic appeal of the package.
Well, I don't wrap my fucking presents in parcel tape. That would be bad.
I have an uncle who is a foot doctor, and he, for Christmas, would put all of his presents in Piggly Wiggly bags. And Piggly Wiggly is this really rundown, shitty grocery store that was super popular in the 90s. And it's just got a picture of a really ugly pig on it. So it could be this really nice gift, and he'd stuff it in a brown paper Piggly Wiggly bag and secure it with duct tape. So you'd go over to his house for Christmas, and all that's under this really nice tree is just shitty brown packaging with gray duct tape all over it.
Oh, not even a bow.
No, and half the time, the presents were equally as shitty as the packaging itself. So one year he came over for Christmas. He was notorious for giving just ridiculous stuff. One year on the way down, he hit a possum and killed it. And instead, most people would just continue on their way. They'd maybe pull over and be like, oh, yeah, possum, dead. No, he cuts the legs off, puts them into clear containers, and wraps them up and gives them to people.
What?
And then that same Christmas, he gives me this big present. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be awesome. And he hands me a pair of welder's gloves and says, you're going to want to put these on before you open that. And all it was a giant ball of rust. That's all it was.
What the hell? Has he understood the concept of Christmas?
He got more of a kick out of giving people terrible gifts. And that was half the fun of it, too. He's like, oh, shit, here's Patrick. Who knows what he's going to get? One year I got a swimsuit calendar that was like 7 years out of date. He made his little niece cry all Christmas because he gave her a potato for Christmas one year. It's a potato.
Oh my god, he sounds so goofy. Sounds so funny.
So yeah, next time you think about wrapping a present, wrap it in parcel tape.
Oh, but yeah, there you go. Some people use kitchen foil because no taping is involved. You just scrunch.
That seems like a huge waste of aluminum foil.
Oh yeah, aluminium foil though you can get it pretty cheap.
What about
you can
wax paper or parchment paper?
I'm not sure what those things are.
Do you even kitchen?
I have greaseproof paper, I have cling film, and kitchen foil.
Man, you get the stupidest names for things. It's like everything about it is just so positively British. It's like,
why?
All right, this is foil. Where does it go? It goes in the kitchen. Oh, kitchen foil. This is a film, and it's clear, and it goes and it clings to everything, so it's cling film.
But we don't need to come up with zany brand names for every item. It's fucking cling film. It doesn't need to be...
But how many different brands of cling film are there?
There's just... like the supermarket own brand, and there's maybe one leading brand, but I couldn't tell you.
So on the package, it physically says cling film.
Yeah. Like, it depends that you can buy branded stuff, but some stuff you don't need to buy branded, like cling film's cling film.
Well, yeah.
So,
but it's like, what do you, the thing that you blow your nose into, what do you call that?
Tissue.
It's a freaking Kleenex.
Oh, we have, no, Kleenex is a brand.
Yes, but it's the same concept you start to associate brands with items.
Well, clever marketing means you are associating tissues with Kleenex now. Even if you bought a grocery-owned brand, you would still call it a Kleenex, which is amazing because Kleenex have done a great job there. It's like, I call the vacuum cleaner a Hoover, but I shouldn't because Hoover's a brand.
Yeah.
And sellotape it should be sticky back plastic, but nobody says sticky back plastic.
What is sellotape?
The tape, the clear tape that you put on your presents and stuff.
You mean Scotch tape?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we call it Scotch tape as well,
Or just tape?
or just tape.
I mean, let's not convolute it here. It's tape.
Welcome to the Factory Seal podcast on homeware.
Yes.
It is.
We do
it is
eventually
tape.
talk about video games at some point, but there's a lot of other bullshit you have to sift through to get to that.
But it was ultimately a box constructed with love and
It
care
was.
and attention.
I opened it
Because-
up and it just exuded warmth.
Yeah, and when I was making it, Kat goes to me, I hope you spend as much time on my Christmas presents as you are on this care package right now. Because I must have gone to like 4 different shops and hunted for like the stuff that you can't normally find easily in like the big supermarkets. Mm-hmm. So some of the like the Chewits and the Millions and stuff, like you can't grab those easily in the big supermarkets. So found them on the corner store. Yeah.
See, I spent about 30 seconds in the candy aisle getting your box together. I went, yep, done. That's how readily available candy is.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the right bits, I think. But then maybe you have really big stores over there, so you got places where everything's under one roof, like Target, I guess, is one of those shops, right?
Yeah. Well, there's so many other candies that I didn't send you.
Yeah, there's so many here too, and I could have sent you Jaffa cakes, which are really popular here.
I
but
will
they just didn't
say
fit
that
box.
so far, my favorite thing are those Tunnocks tea cakes.
Oh, they are the most British thing in that box.
I thought you said they're Scottish.
Actually, they're Scottish, but
So how can a
that's
Scottish
still-
thing be British?
Well, because they're part of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
They're still British. If you play sport and you're from Scotland, you still represent Britain.
Huh.
But yeah, okay, technically speaking, you could say they were maybe more Scottish if you were more, perhaps have more national pride or whatever. But they're just very, they're very UK, let's put it that way. But they're great, right?
They are fantastic.
What else have you tried?
I'm limiting it. I didn't want to overdo it. I think I overdid it a little bit last night. I had the Chewits Extreme,
Which flavor?
The sour green ones, whatever the hell.
Oh, they're the best ones. Yeah.
Those are essentially now and laters. Have you ever
Okay,
had
I've never
now and
heard
laters?
of those.
Now and laters are phenomenal if you have a bunch of fillings that you no longer want in your teeth.
What the fuck? What now and later? What name?
Yeah, because you eat them now, and later they're also still in your mouth because they're stuck to your teeth. It makes total sense. I mean,
Yeah,
the
the same as
convention-
calling something cling film kitchen foil. It is what it is.
But the names of some of these freaking candies, you and I were talking about it before, are so ridiculous.
Let's hear some that you thought found the most ridiculous.
The Chewits. It's like, Johnson, what's this? It's like, sir, you put it in your mouth and you chew it. You mean with my teeth? What do you call it? Well, we'll call it a Chewit. But it's sour. Okay, it's extreme. What's the other?
You just put extreme on the packaging.
Make sure it's an X. Get rid of that E. That E's some bullshit.
E's aren't cool anymore. The kids won't buy them if they have E's on them.
Make sure
Save
that
the
X is
E's for-
capitalized.
Save the E's for the ingredients.
And like the crunchy. What the hell? This candy bar is crunchy. What do you call it? I don't know, crunchy? All right, good. Next one. The lion. Why do you call this a lion? Like, is it made with real lion meat? No, it's got a lion on the package. All right, done deal.
We don't mess about.
No,
There's no messing. The crunchy, have you had that yet?
I have not. I actually have the box in here, and the thing that's staring me in the face right now are these flying saucers.
Those are amazing.
It's a sherbet-filled wafer disc.
Little UFOs.
I'm gonna eat one.
Yeah, tell me what they're like. They remind me of childhood a lot.
Smells
Used
like
to get
old
them in
people.
like these. Always a good start.
Oh my god, it smells like a nursing home. Which color should I eat?
I think the color doesn't matter. They're all the same. They're just
Okay.
the colors literally don't do anything.
Well, this saucer's not going to fly very well. It's off-centered.
Mass produced.
It's like eating paper, Tom. Oh, there's the sherbet.
Yeah, but it mixes
my
with the
God.
paper and it's good.
And then your spit dissolves the paper?
Hell yeah. That's the idea.
Those are good. It's
Well,
really
there you go,
weird.
see?
It's like putting half a sheet of notebook paper in your mouth.
So true. It's like you're just tearing through your notes.
I'm so hungry. Can't wait for lunch.
What would be the next thing that was staring you in the face? What's the most weird looking thing
The most weird-looking thing.
that you just look at and think, what the hell could that be?
The
I
curly
think I have an
whirly.
idea.
Wait, I
Oh,
did have
really?
a question for you.
Yeah.
On your note, you had for the refreshers. We used to put whole tubes of these into bottles of vodka at university. It doesn't look like something you can pour into vodka.
So is it a tube of sweets?
No.
Like it's
it's
green?
like a flat taffy bar.
Oh no! If you see, I put in brackets that there are bars as well. There's a bar as well. There should be a tube of refreshers in there,
Oh.
and
Well-
it's green foil either end.
Wait.
And
There it is.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Are these like
and you
lifesavers?
basically maybe I think I've heard of lifesavers. We don't have these, but the diameter of each refresher almost perfectly fits at the opening of certain vodka bottles. Mm-hmm. And you can just dunk that whole tube in there, and the whole thing froths up. And then you just drink it, and it doesn't taste at all like vodka. It just tastes like exactly like the sweet. And so it's the most lethal thing you can do. And
So the squashies, I wasn't too impressed with. They taste like
surprised.
dish soap.
Interesting. Even the red ones.
Yes, not as much like dish soap, but still dish soap.
Interesting.
The
Fair
millions taste like Mambos. And they're really interesting because they take forever for the flavor to hit you. You're like, all right, I'm chewing on packing foam. And it's like, oh, there's the flavor. And then 20 minutes later, you're in the bathroom shitting your brains out.
enough. I love your descriptions. Packing foam. It does look like packing. It does look like you've cracked open a beanbag.
It's exactly what it is.
They're so good, though. I love that they come in a tube as well, so you can get your whole mouth around it.
Have you ever taken an entire package at once?
I haven't. Not at once.
What in God's name are the Moam pinballs?
Those things are awesome. I totally forgot I put those in there. Nobody knows how to pronounce that word, but most of us say Mawam.
Oh, I'm going to try one.
But you should try one of those. They're really good. I mean, if you don't like those, I'd be surprised.
I forgot to put circus peanuts in your package.
Circus peanuts.
Oh, circus peanuts are awesome.
Are they just peanuts? It's got a pinball.
The hell are these things? It's not gum.
No, it's not gum. They kind of feel a bit like gum to begin with, but no, they're just they're all right.
I give that one an A+.
Sweet.
No, circus peanuts are great because if you put them in your car in the sun, they turn into stone.
Oh God.
All right, I'll try one more thing. What should I try right now?
Oh no, I was going to say try a jawbreaker, but they take too long to eat.
Yeah, and I don't want to be sucking on that. That would be Jess's whole nightmare show. Just radiation testicles.
You could just try a refresher
Okay.
because they're small and easy.
The tube or the bar?
Oh, this is just the tube. The bar will take you a while to get through.
I'm gonna
Not
try
a while, but
Oh boy.
they probably are just like lifesavers. I'm going to see what lifesavers are.
No, they're not.
Oh.
Oh man, you know what those taste like? Chalk.
Good chalk.
Or, better yet, they're like those vitamin C chalk tablets that you can get.
If you put like 10 of those in your mouth and just keep chewing for ages, you just build up this big foam mess.
I'm doing it. Okay.
That's a good idea.
How many? 10?
I'd say 5 is enough.
Okay. 3. Oh, there's a white one. That one looks like some sort of pill. Here we go. Suck on them or chew on them?
Just kind of suck to begin with, and then do some chewing, and then just kind of let your saliva build up.
I didn't know there were rules involved with. Oh shit! There it goes.
There's so many weird.
It's dripping out of my mouth. Oh my god!
I wish I could see this.
I'm not really convinced these are good.
No way.
They're good, but it's really chalky. It almost feels like I should be like I should have some sort of ailment in order to be eating those. Like a bad hip.
Yeah, I guess they do have a kind of medicinal like texture to them.
Yes, just a bit.
I can understand that. I never thought about that, but I guess when I think about the sort of candy you guys have, like a lot of it's kind of gummies and hard candy and stuff.
Should I be concerned about drinking anything after this? Like, is there going to be an adverse reaction in my gut?
No, you'll be fine.
Okay.
You can drink anything. I don't think you're thinking there's going to be a chemical reaction in your stomach.
I think part of the issue with those millions last night was that I'd had a bunch of beer beforehand.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You love to mix your stuff up.
Hell yeah. The worst one so far is eggs and milk duds.
Oh, I've not had milk duds, but I've seen them. They don't look good.
Oh, they're good. They are good. So
okay, I'll have to
I'm going to slowly chew through this. The only other thing that I like are the Jammy Dodgers so far.
Oh,
but I still refuse to confirm that they are biscuits. They are cookies.
I'm sorry, Sam. They're biscuits. I'm sorry. And you have skips as well, I think.
Yes, I'm going to save those for dinner time.
Yeah, save them. They're good.
So the only two things that I've seen in this box already are Werther's and Toblerone.
Oh, okay. I figured you had Toblerone before, but I thought I'd just send one anyway.
Well, it's a British Toblerone, so it's a lot more high class.
Yeah. Yes.
Quite. Jeeves.
I didn't realize you guys got Werther's Originals.
Pack in that triangular candy. It's an odd shape. Makes it more expensive.
I've hurt myself so many times eating one of those.
Why?
Because you know how it's shaped? Like they're shaped like mountains?
Yes.
If you put it in your mouth and then like chew down, but then push the Toblerone up, the other mountain stabs you in the nose.
You sound really bad at eating. Like a basic human function you sound terrible at.
I had to use a knife and fork for the Toblerone.
That's pretentious.
That's how we eat all of our candy in Britain.
Just a little pocket knife and fork everywhere.
Exactly.
Jesus. So yes, that is my box of British goodies, and we thank you heartily for sending that.
You're welcome. Has Christy tried anything?
She has not. She had her eye on the chocolate stuff. She's not much of a sweets person.
Okay, so there's a decent amount of chocolate in there.
Man, those refreshers have a lot of sugar. Oh.
They're good.
Holy cats.
I think there's some popping candy in there as well, but I think you guys get that.
Pop Rocks, yeah. Used to think that if you ate those with soda, you'd explode.
Oh yeah, and yeah. Did you guys ever put bicarbonate of soda in a cheap bottle of Coca-Cola
You mean Mentos?
or Mentos, or you can just put the raw soda in?
No. It explodes, I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you had no childhood if you hadn't done that.
We used to put dry ice in with a small drop of water and seal the bottle and make dry ice bombs.
No, I don't think I did that.
Yeah, they're really dangerous.
Well, there's my weekend plan.
Hell yeah. If you can get dry ice. It's pretty highly regulated over here. Well, not regulated, but you have to be I think you have to be a certain age to buy it, or it's kept under lock and key because it's so dangerous. You can burn yourself with it.
Oh,
yeah.
That's bad.
So, Thomas, why are we here today?
To talk about PoPoLoCrois.
PoPoLoCrois, that's right. There's that S on the end of it.
Yeah, I was going to say PoPoLoCrois, but I forgot that.
Sounds so much better, PoPoLoCrois.
Yeah, I don't know if that S should be there.
What did we say that means? Crossing of people? People crossing?
Yeah, people crossing but I don't know which language.
I think it's French.
That makes sense.
French. So we left off. We're breaking this game up into 3 parts because it's broken into 3 stories. Last month,
right.
We did story 1. And we ended there with Pietro et al. Going their separate ways. We don't necessarily or personally know what happened to everybody else because both of us were too stupid to figure out that you could go find out what happened to them. We just rushed into the final room and ran the credits. But I think the thing to take away is that Pietro's adventure came to an end. He successfully woke his mother up. She was in bed. And you assumed, okay, hey, everything's going to be happy. Mom's home, Dad's home, I'm here, my friends are gone. Let's get back to being royalty.
Yeah. I don't know which scenes that we missed. I don't know what actually happened in those scenes in the fourth store.
We talked a little bit about him at the end of the last show.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Apparently Pietro and Narcia have a little bit of a moment at the pond. Gammy Devil goes and rebuilds a new castle, which we actually get to explore here this time. His cardboard castle.
So this book is called Dark King Pietro's Trial.
Yes.
That's the first book. And it opens with a cutscene like all the books do, which kind of explains that nothing but chaos was around before the Son of Light was born. And the Son of Darkness was also
his name
born.
was Duon.
Duon, that's it.
And the Son of Light created the gods.
Yes. And the Son of Darkness was named Chaos.
Yes. And he was made at the same time as the gods.
Yes. So the gods fought against Chaos. And then Chaos was defeated and he was buried deep into the Earth's core.
Correct.
And then humans had to make sure Chaos stayed imprisoned in the Earth's core, but the humans got lazy, which I loved that they described that.
Well,
humans
no shit.
Humans were just like, got complacent and whatever.
Somebody else will deal with it.
Somebody else will deal with it.
Jeeves, remind me that that's not my problem. Sir, that's not your problem. Quite.
Quite. Brilliant.
Yes.
A-star, Jeeves. So heaven then was no longer open for mankind because there was just too much wanting and greed by the humans.
Mm-hmm. That's where that cutscene ends then, right?
It ends right there, and interestingly, it's then in a scene in a classroom, I think.
Yes.
And I think it's Sabo, the dog character.
Oh yeah, I knew he looked familiar because he was from Brionia.
Correct, yeah. And the last thing he says before he dismisses the class is, among the gods lived Myra, also known as Venus. And then the classroom disbands or whatever.
Foreshadowing. I guess
So
now that makes sense.
yeah. So I kind of wrote that down thinking, because that wasn't brought up in the initial cutscene. So,
No. But
obviously
at that time, he's teaching about the gods, the fairies, and the dragons. And that comes into play at the end as well, because the fairies give and take life.
Yes, that's correct. And it just was weird how the way he says that in the classroom, it's like it's following on from the intro, but the narration is a female voice. And so I'm guessing Sabo is a female, maybe. Or perhaps... Or maybe he played a video.
I always assumed that the voiceover was Sania.
Yeah, I did as well.
It's like her telling bedtime stories to Pietro.
Yeah, it has that kind of tale, that lullaby tale to it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously it's not a lullaby, but you know what I mean? It's kind of that bedtime story thing.
So you'd expect Minister Morn, or not Minister Morn, you expect Pietro to be he's not in class right now, is he?
Pietro isn't. Pietro is sat on a rooftop in PoPoLoCrois.
Playing his ocarina.
May as well be blowing bubble gum and just being... He's quite clearly aged, you know? The writing changes for him a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they even allude to that, too, because Minister Morn goes and finds him and says, hey, your father would like to see you. And the first thing that Pietro says to his dad is, hey, Dad. And King kind of cuts him off and says, no, I am no longer your dad. You must refer to me as father. And there's a very clear division there. So he has grown up, yes. Yeah,
his attitude changes. He's playing his flute carefree, but he's a bit rebellious. He kind of forgets who he is at the time, maybe.
Or he's just being a pretentious prince.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to school.
I'll go with that one.
But the king makes an announcement that the queen is pregnant. And then it's time for Pietro's royal trial, which sets up the whole premise for this book.
Which was kind of like, I know you just went through that whole book and saved your mum, but you got to prove yourself.
Yeah, before we can actually officially make you the heir to the king, go get this crown from this cave.
Yeah. I know you saved your mum from 10 years of sleep, which was a pretty big deal, and you defeated this massive ice demon.
You saved the whole planet.
And the big four and the whole planet, but just get this crown, okay? I need it. And then you can be heir to the throne.
So you have to go find this. The Cave of Kings is off by the treehouse. So naturally, you're going to make your way over there to see Gilda and Narcia. But you're tasked, or you're accompanied by these two bumbling idiots named Don and Glon, who are these
that's right
soldiers that who knows why they're sent with you, but they are wussies through and through. They run away from everything. So when you appear at the treehouse, this mini boss, the mini demon, pops out, and they just instantly run away. But then they come back and help you fight him. But Jesus, God, that boss was tough. I don't know if you found him to be... The difficulty in this story ramps way up from story one. And they don't even ease you into it.
Normally, I wouldn't spend too much time preparing between fights. I mean, I'd heal and do all the necessary things, but I kind of just jumped into this one thinking it would be... I didn't even know there would be a boss for a start, because you just don't expect it when you get to the treehouse.
Yeah.
But when it leaped down and it had no real correlation to the story, it was just a mini boss. I figured it was going to be pretty straightforward. And I died the first time.
I died probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I might have died twice actually. Or the second time I might have had to use a ton of like healing items, and like it was a real struggle. I had to replenish when I got back to...
Well, it kind of forces you to utilize the focus and a little bit more strategy, because these bosses now have different area attacks. So it definitely matters where you have your characters positionally on the map, especially the final boss of this whole story. Holy crap. But
Yeah.
the mini demon really has zero correlation to the story. I have no idea why it pops out. Did they ever explain it?
No, because I think even when you go inside the treehouse, there's no mention of what you've just had to go through.
Just a boss for the sake of there being a boss.
Yeah, just lob it in there. They couldn't find anywhere else to put him.
But then Gilda reintroduces Narcia and Pietro, and I think this scene would have had a little bit more impact had we actually seen what occurred with Pietro and Narcia at the end of story 1, because I got this really weird tension between the two of them. And I think even one of them mentioned something about a cold shiver. So I don't know if it's like weird teen sexual tension or what it is, because clearly Narcia has the hots for Pietro.
Yeah, and you notice that a little bit later on in this book, but I only saw it once, maybe. I can't remember if I thought the same at that point in the treehouse, but so much time has passed that it is a bit awkward, shall we say?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think, like I said, it would have been more impactful had we seen that other part. But essentially, Narcia presses to go with, but then Gilda says, well, who's going to stay and help me with the house chores? And ultimately, Don and Glon end up staying back to do housework.
Yeah. Like,
who knows what that entails?
Yeah, wasn't Gilda kind of like, you two will be useful around here, make yourselves.
Yeah, so what's really going on, Gilda? What kind of place are you running here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit suspicious, to say the least. Just a tad.
Yeah.
So you and Nasha are sent, you go to the cave. Is it a Cave of Kings?
Yes, to get the wisdom crown to take back to the king.
Yeah, okay, so you get to the cave and she waits outside.
That's right, you have to go it alone.
Yeah, which I forgot about that, but if you talk to her and you say you need help or something, I think she gives you maybe a healing item. If you talk to her again, I think she actually replenishes your HP and MP. So you can kind of dive into the cave, do a few battles, run back out, she'll heal you, and do a bit of grinding, which is entirely necessary because I died in that place probably 7-8 times.
It's very difficult, well, especially when you're going it alone.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're facing multiple enemies in a tactics kind of game and you're only one guy.
And your special attacks go in a straight line, so you have to position yourself.
Mm-hmm. You just had to try and work it so that you could use Slicing Wind to try and get 2 at least. But it was tricky, especially there were very tightly packed battle arenas in that area. Like a lot of corners and stuff, and not very many places to move. I really struggled with that cave in general. I had to do some serious level grinding in there, but the experience was pretty low, and it took a while. That's probably why this book was perhaps a bit shorter. I'm not sure, but the book pretty much ends after you've managed to retrieve that crown and bring it back.
But once you get in to actually take the crown, there's a bright flash of light, and Pietro goes unconscious. And once you wake up, you're in this really dark area, and this dude named Vesqual appears and kind of bestows upon you this prophecy that he reveals to Pietro, who he refers to as the young lion. This is your destiny, and basically the world will soon be covered in a darkness, and PoPoLoCrois faces catastrophe. So,
yes,
he kind of reads off this what is it? Not a poem, but this forewarning where I actually have it written down just because I wanted to see if anything would tie into it later, and it basically says, "Don't be blinded by its beauty. Its beauty hides a deceitful heart. The ocean will be disturbed. Its words are mesmerizing and graceful, but hides an evil truth. An ancient island lies beneath the ocean. The future of this world is threatened. Which essentially tells you exactly how the rest of the story is going to play out.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that makes sense considering how the rest of this book plays out.
Yeah. So he says you have to discover the true treasure of the kings in order to save the world.
Yep. And then after that, I think you
got to go back and get Don and Glon.
Oh yeah, don't forget those guys. You don't tell Narcia what you saw in the cave.
No,
for some reason.
But what is the true treasure of the king?
I don't know.
Like that's one unresolved piece of this, because even at the end of book 4, I don't know what the true treasure of the king is.
Yeah, it's so weird. I have no idea either. There was nothing dug up that I found that would be that.
So you head back to the castle, present the crown, and then the king officially says, great, you're going to be next in line for the throne. But at this point, Pietro's kind of uneasy about the whole thing because he has seen this prophecy. So he doesn't necessarily want to take on that burden. And at the end of this book, it kind of flips to this mysterious voice that pops up.
Ah, yeah.
And
what does it say?
It says something to the effect of, like, let's test him. Let's see if he is the chosen one. And then that's where it ends.
Oh, yeah. Boom. That's book 1.
Book 1. Really short. Super short. I'd say less than an hour. Unless you die a lot like we did.
Yeah. It was maybe a little bit more just because of the dying.
But then again, to kind of go back to what we were talking about last show, this story is a brand new one that's exclusive to the PSP version, and it's nothing that's been experienced on either on any of the game releases before. And what it does is it serves to bridge the gap between story 1 and story 3. So
yeah,
it's almost like a DLC content pack that's popped in there.
Yeah, it does feel that way. It does feel like shit's going to hit the fan in the final story.
Big time.
Yeah, when it's all kind of setting everything up and aligning everything in place.
So book 2... Go ahead.
Yeah, it's called Goddess Trap.
Yes.
I think. So yeah, Queen Sania is giving birth. And you're kind of just... I think the king is just pacing around the room.
Well,
and
this
you just
is
have
where
to stand
he's
there
first referred to as the lion-hearted king, right?
Yes, that's right.
Which explains why Vesqual called him the son of the lion.
Yes.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
The young lion.
That's it.
So the king is taking this opportunity to kind of teach Pietro about the qualities of a king and, patience and all this other stuff. But what I thought was kind of fun is they actually give you the opportunity to name the princess.
What did you try and name her the first time?
I just straight up went for Elena. I'm like, that's the least dumb one, but there's
did you?
Pierretta, Puni Puyon.
I went for the Puni Puyon one. and the king said, Pietro, let's be serious here.
Yeah.
And then you get the choice again of all three, and then I chose Pietro, and then the king says something like, come on, very funny, I see what you're trying to do. And then you get the choices again, and you have to pick Elena.
So it forces you to pick him.
Yeah, I don't even know why it's there, but
that's interesting. I mean, it injects that little humor in there of a kid. Like, kids are going to want to name other kids stupid things.
Yeah, it does have some funny bits in it. This game, like the writing and stuff, it just throws it off suddenly. Like, it seems all like cutesy and A to B in the way it's structured, and then suddenly it just goes off kilter and just starts to throw in a few jokes. It's really funny.
This story, not as much. Story 1 was a lot more, but then again, this is kind of
Yeah.
afterthought or a bridge. So,
Yeah, agreed.
but the king kind of takes this opportunity then, as Pietro's holding Elena, to talk to him about saying, I'm going to be retiring soon, and that puts you next in line, and it's going to be your duty to protect the kingdom and this family. But this mysterious voice pops up again and begins to tempt the king to stay in power. And the voice starts to attack Paolo, the king, with some magical energy, which ultimately affects Elena as well. And Paolo, being the strong, lion-hearted king, can withstand it, but he doesn't want to put Elena's life further in danger. So ultimately, he gives in, and at this point, the power possesses him, and basically says that now that I have the powers of the Lion King and the powers as a human, you all shall fear me.
Yeah. And he throws Elena at Pietro. He throws his baby, his newly born.
They're tough. They're nimble. They're like little jello blobs.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just teleports away after that, I think.
Yes. But this kind of sets up the whole rest of the story here. So the king's been possessed by this mysterious force, basically, who was looking for the powers of the Lion King, but he was also needing to be in a human form as well. So the king obviously fit that. Paolo is able to overcome certain aspects of it before he's completely overcome, and he tells Pietro, "Don't worry, I will overcome this. I'm not going to let it win." But that's where he disappears and turns into the Dark Lion King, who's kind of in this black armor and has these insane powers. He raises his sword to attack the family. He wants the Dark Lion King wants to kill Pietro and Elena, but Paolo's able to fight it back and doesn't allow him to do so. And then he teleports away. So Sania kind of pops in and says, "Hey, here's what's happening. He was possessed by a dark mind, and that's not who he is. He's strong. He can overcome this. But go to your room."
Yeah, not forgetting that he's still a kid.
Yeah, go to your room. We'll take care of this.
Go to your room after this kerfuffle.
So when you're in your room, I think I sent you a message about this. Did you discover the trophy room? In his bedroom?
I don't no.
So between the bookshelves, I found this out on accident because the controls they're okay, but it's an isometric view. So up isn't up. It's either up left or up right, or down left or down right. And I accidentally went between two of his bookshelves into a new room. And when you were in Gammy Gammy City, you could buy souvenirs. They were expensive, but if you purchased them, they would go to the souvenir room. So I walked in there and I had my Gammy Gammy Devil souvenir in there.
Huh, no way.
Yeah. So any trophies or souvenirs that you purchase are held there.
And you can just click on them and look at them.
No, can't even click on them or look at them. They just kind of fill up. So every time I come across the ability to purchase a souvenir, I do.
Huh. I wonder what happens if you like get enough for a certain number of a certain type or something.
I don't know. They're easy to spot within the item list at a merchant though, because they've kind of got that red square.
Yeah, I've never bought any of them because I just don't know what they do.
They're
but now I do.
Heck yeah, get them all. Get it.
Gotta get them all. Get it.
So Pietro's sitting in here and he's kind of pissed off. He's like, "Look, I just saved the world. I need to go save my dad." So he sneaks out and he goes and meets Narcia across the bridge. Gilda felt an evil presence at the castle, so she sent Narcia and said, "Hey, go check this out." And at this point, Don and Glon join you again, so these bumbling idiots. But at this
most
point...
generic characters.
Oh, yeah. This point, I was actually kind of lost at what to do, because they give you no direction other than The only thing I can think of that kind of remotely points you where to go is Narcia comes in and says, "Hey, Gilda told me that there's an evil presence here." But
Yeah.
at no point do they say, "Let's go see her." They just
Yeah.
kind of leave you to pick up on that.
Totally. So, did you just go straight there, or did you hang around in PoPoLoCrois for a bit?
I hung around and upgraded whatever weapons or items I had the money to do. But if
Yeah,
you go
okay.
out into the field, they're still the original enemies from the game, so you can't really farm them for anything.
Yeah, it's so annoying. And if you run away, you drop like 300 gold.
Oh, is that how much you drop?
You drop a lot, man. I didn't realize.
Oh
But
shit! I used to drop. I used
so
to
I
run away a lot.
so if I'm in the areas where there's just super low level characters that you just can't grind from, I just cast Guardian using Pietro to just avoid those battles because they're just time wasters. But in PoPoLoCrois, there's a house at the bottom which has an old woman in it and loads of cats. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah,
That's where you get the Melia orb, right?
yeah, that's right. But I've never used it.
So I was actually going to ask, have you used any of the jewels or anything?
Not at all.
have
I always think
no
I will,
idea.
and then yeah. I think there's summons or something. Like I think the Melia orb actually throws out another character, but I don't know that for sure. But just looking at the statistics of the item, it looks like that's what happens. That you can then control this other person or
Yeah,
something. I don't know.
it says the Melia orb works like a jewel, but it's infinite and only costs 20 MP.
Yeah, that's the thing. It can, whereas all the other jewels are a one-time use only, like any disposable item, you can just use this one over and over. So I guess it's worth having. I don't think it's needed necessarily. I mean, clearly I've not used it.
I don't think
But
I have
maybe-
it. I just read about it not long after I got past it. So I wonder if I can actually go back and get it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you kind of do have free roam of the map most of the time, but
I
it
really
depends
wish
on-
they implemented some sort of travel system.
I know, because getting from I got really lost in this book as well because we had like a short break between the books,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't remember how to get around when it came to, for example, getting to Godriff or even getting to Gamigami City. I just was drawing so many blanks, like because of the nature of the map being so poor, and there are lots of random encounters, so you don't want to really screw up too much.
No, but that can also
just-
serve to help you level grind too.
Yeah, of course, but I just mean when you're running through like the level 1 birds that hit you for 2 hit points and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like they take long necessarily. It's just one of those things. Nature of RPGs.
Yeah, none of the battles are that long either.
No.
So from here, you go and see Gilda, who kind of gives you another little bit of a plot dump and just kind of reinforces everything that Sania said. Basically, that Paolo's mind is trapped in darkness. But here she tells the story of the Lion King, who wore gold armor and was a skilled swordsman, and he's basically a living legend among warriors, and that's Paolo. So obviously she doesn't worry too much about his ability to overcome this darkness. But she saw his spirit leave and tried to follow it, but ultimately lost him. And the only person she can think of who would be able to track his spirit would be the old man Radek on the mountaintop. But to get to the mountaintop last time, we had to have an airship. So this is where she says, who do you know has an airship? And of course, Gammy Devil has one. But apparently he lives in Godriff now because the genius blew up his own castle. An idiot.
Yeah.
I love this character.
Yeah.
So
Papa Smurf.
you have to go and convince him to let you use his airplane again.
Yeah. She recommends going to see him so you can fly over, meet Raduk, and he may know what's happened to Pietro's dad.
Yes. When you got to Gammy's new castle, which is made of cardboard and junk, it's not his old castle. It is a piece of crap.
Yep.
Did you get confused as to where to go in there?
Once inside it,
Yeah.
Um, no, I think I was all right.
I
It
think I
just
just missed a door in the bottom right that I couldn't
yeah,
see
you
anything.
must have because once you get through those first couple of doors, it's just a straight shot straight up to the top.
I must have
And
missed it.
but what I did not necessarily struggle, but I found quite difficult was the boss up there. Actually, was quite tough. Some sort of robot
Well,
thing.
wasn't that no? Hold on. This is when you go to Gammy Gammy City. Because
Yeah.
don't you have to go get a part for him?
Oh no, but you have to go and meet him first. You go to his castle
You go to his
in.
old castle first.
No, you go to his new one first.
I must have wrote that down backwards.
Yeah, you go to his new castle, which is just like it just looks like junk. It looks
Yeah,
like it's got scaffolding and
but there's a
bolted
boss
on
in his new
bits of
castle, right?
sheets of metal. There's a boss in his new castle at the top. I think it's called Robo something.
Robomander. And Don and Glog run away
Robomander.
again, leaving you and Narcia to beat him.
Naturally, yeah. So that makes that battle a bit harder. And then he comes along, and he's like, he doesn't want to help you.
Well, he goes absolutely bonkers for Narcia again.
Yeah. He's like, doesn't want to help you, but then he sees Narcia and he's like,
He makes a comment in here too about Robomander because initially he was ticked off that Robomander died, but then he looked at her and he goes, "You know what? That robot probably enjoyed being destroyed by your beautiful hand." And then he looks at Pietro and he's like, "I still hate the stupid prince."
yeah, it's brilliant.
He's such a fun guy.
Yeah, he said he'd only help you only for her. And so when you leave, you go back to Tankian Village so that you can actually make it across the mountains to the real Gamigami City and visit his old castle, which
You need to get a
which is
part
there.
for the G Compact DX,
Oh yeah,
which
his
is what he
talking
calls
plane.
his plane. Yes.
But yeah, and at the city Gamigami, you can buy him a new weapon there, which is pretty powerful. The Mind Wrecker. Don't know if you picked that
Shit,
up.
I think I missed that one. I
Yeah,
don't
so
like Gammy Gammy in battle. He's kind of useless.
I liked him a bit more this book than the last one. The thing that's really good about him is his agility is very high. So he gets like 2 turns before my Pietro has only had one. He has two for every 1 turn.
See, and I've bought all of the really expensive shoes and everything for Pietro, so he's quick.
Okay.
Because playing with when I've got all 4 of the people in, 3 of them get 2 turns before Narcia even gets 1.
Oh, see, it's the other way around for me. Narcia and Gamigami are the quickest.
Oh, geez. I'd prefer
Yeah.
Narcia to be the quickest because she's got the health.
She's always the first to go, pretty much, on mine.
Weird.
Yeah, she's good. I know what you mean, though. I actually made a note that it is hard because you're revisiting towns quite a lot in this game. How often do you go back to Tankian Village and Godriff and even PoPoLoCrois? Like, it's very rare you go back to the hometown constantly on an RPG.
Yeah. And here you're
and
there
so
constantly.
You go there constantly, and what I always forget, naturally, is that the shops, their equipment changes. You know, they get different stock in, but if you can easily miss that, because one thing I do in JRPGs, as soon as I hit a new town, I'm like, okay, find the shops. What have they got? What's the new stuff? New town, new stuff.
Yep, and once
don't
you stock
think
up
Old
on
Town-
it, or you sit and level grind just outside town till you can afford everything.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I've been caught short a few times with trying to buy new equipment because it's pretty pricey, and sometimes I just have nowhere near enough gold. But yeah, you can get his Mind Wrecker weapon, which is pretty effective. And you have to go into the castle, and there's like this little machine thing that he's talking to get the part. Mm-hmm. And it needs to identify that it's definitely Gamigami.
He can't get into his own vault because the security check, doesn't he say he's too fat?
He says body fat level increased, eating too much greasy food. And he turns around, there's this kind of like that teardrop like sign on his face. It's like, yeah, height, correct, yep.
It's me.
Beard, yep, that's him. Eyes, correct. Wait, too fat.
Too fat.
Um, yeah, and now then you have to head to. Do you have to go to Poshtov to see Poshtov, or is that later?
No, that's later. So here at this point, you just
Okay.
get to use his plane, and you have to go find
okay.
Raduk.
That's right. So you head towards the.
Wait. Yeah, you have to go to Poshtov.
Oh, you do have to go to Poshtov.
Yes,
Yeah, because
because the White Knight borrowed the flying yacht from Poshtov, but hasn't returned yet. But I thought the flying yacht was destroyed when they left Brionia. Because remember, they all fell off of it.
Oh yeah. Good point. I didn't even remember that. But yeah, they did. I thought it was completely. Thinking about it now, I think it is completely wrecked. I don't. Maybe Poshtov doesn't know that he didn't get a text or anything.
That's okay. So they they initially wanted to use the flying yacht, but they couldn't because White Knight had it. So that's why they're going with Gammy Gammy. Of course, he ends up crash landing on Sword Mountain.
Yeah.
And he goes through this argument with his ship where his ship is talking to him about thanking me for crashing, and the ship is like, no, thank me. And
Yeah, and then the ship says, thank you, my lord. I love you, my lord.
yeah, he says, if you don't mind, I'm just going to fly around and get some info. And when he leaves, he's like, love you, my lord.
Yeah, with a little musical note next to it. And then Nadia makes a comment. She goes, that's a little weird.
Just everything about Gammy is weird.
Yeah. It's like, because once you're in, is it Hat Village? Hatton Village?
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah. There's some good equipment you can buy there. But as you make your way up the mountain, you come across the next character that you can control.
This guy is awesome. Yeah. Kimindoji. He is this amazing samurai who says that Raduk is his master. So you need to go and meet Raduk. But when you walk into Raduk's building, I thought this was really strange. There's this big fat dude named Jumbo. Did you talk to Jumbo?
Yeah, I did.
And Jumbo goes, hey, you should probably save your game. There's going to be a really long talk in there. Like, oh, awesome. There's going to be like 45 minutes of plot dump. And it wasn't that long. It was maybe a few minutes.
No. It was kind of a strange place to have the save point.
Yeah, I guess. But Raduk basically says, you go in and talk to him, and Pietro says, hey, what happened to my dad back in the castle? How did the Dark Spirit take over him? Raduk says that he must have been tricked because, as Gilda said before, the Lion King is a hero who serves Duan, and Duan was the son of light? What did we say Duan was?
The
son of light.
Yeah.
So he may know how to communicate with him to get his soul back.
And he attempts, and the first time is, I think I was thinking too hard or something.
Yeah. And he has this vision of a green forest and a sealed sword of Remoria. And then someone wants Paolo to pull the sword out, but only a human king can touch that sealed sword. So this kind of wraps into why this dark spirit wanted to take over Paolo, because he's a king and he's a human. So this dark spirit wants the sword, but needed a vessel in which he could possess to get the sword. So the dark spirit's using Paolo's body as a disguise to remove the seal from the temple in the jungle to the south.
Did you see? So when Raduk addresses everybody, he addresses Kim and Doje and is like, "Oh, who are these new students you're teaching or something?" And Kim and Doje has no real sense of humor.
Yeah.
and was just like, they're not my students, I don't have the time or whatever. And Raduk was like, I'm only kidding, Kim and Doje. Anyway, you didn't just come here for the jokes. It's just so funny. But when I think about it, I think the save point was there so that you could, before you teleport, head back to the village below with Kim and Doje and buy him new equipment.
Oh, shit, I didn't do that.
Yeah, because I bought him a sword or something that increased his attack by at least 30 points. So I remember doing that. Are you just pouring tons of millions into your mouth?
Pop rock, son.
Oh.
They were staring at me from the distance. I'm like, I have to eat those things.
I was just talking and you just zoned out. I can imagine that. You just became all doe-eyed as you looked at that black and red packet.
I forgot how fun these things are.
Is it like a fireworks display in your mouth?
Hell yeah, it's a party in my mouth. Sorry, that was probably disgusting. But no, I did not go back and get anything for Kim and Doji. I didn't even think about it. It's that old gamer adage of like, all right, cool, something new, let's go. And you stop to think about, oh, that probably would have been a smart idea.
No, but actually, you got him because you actually finished this story before me, and you told me about Kim and Doje before I'd actually got him, and you hyped him as being a pretty good character, like a really strong character. But it wasn't until probably the last half of the third book that I actually thought he was any good.
See, I think when I told you that, I had just gotten him, and those first couple battles, he just annihilates everything with like 400 or 500 hit points. I think it was to kind of build him up as this super character. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Once you hit the third book, he's just kind of your average everyday character.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't have a lot of range on him either.
No, his agility is very low.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't go and upgrade him, so you head back up, teleports you to the jungle, and the jungle is a gigantic, confusing area.
Yeah, because it's one of those, it's the same as the snow level from the first book in the sense of big, large, bland area that looks very similar. Each screen looks similar when you walk through to the next.
It reminded me of were the wooded sections from any of the Zelda games where you go in and you have to take a certain path, and if you mess up, it takes you back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Obviously,
it's
this
like
one
kind of
the magical woods or the mysterious woods or whatever they're called.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of, kind of. Do you remember? My memory is so shoddy on Final Fantasy VIII, but the brothers, the GF brothers thing in the tomb. Yeah. And you can run north, east, or west, and everything looks the same.
Well, the cool thing about that was that whichever direction you came out, it was reversed. Mm-hmm. So the best way to get through that was just always take right. Always take a right.
Always take your right or Squall's right?
Squall's right. Either way, it'll be the same thing. Always take Squall's right.
Ah, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah, now you do. I think we even talked about that in our show. Did you even listen?
Yeah. Oh, come on. It was like 6 hours of content.
I think it was more than that. I think it was like 10. Each of those shows is like 2.5 hours.
Shit, son.
Son.
Oh, you did 4 discs. I forgot about that, yeah.
So once you get through... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you get stuck in the jungle for ages? Or did you find your way around?
I eventually found my way around, but thankfully I found those treasure chests that had the new items and stuff in there. I get kind of... I have this condition where if I get to a new area, I have to explore all of it. Because I understand as a game developer, they're not going to put the best shit just right where you're going to pass.
Yeah, of course.
They'll be like, you got to go in this area and find it here.
Mm-hmm.
But
exactly,
there's a mysterious dude waiting by the sword in the jungle once you get there, and pops up, and you have to fight this dog named Zard or Zared, who ends up being the boss.
He's pretty easy,
super easy, and at the beginning, this one was really actually the reason I found it interesting is because I noticed when the battle starts, I always liked to just hold off and wait for Narcia to use her retribution.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to use it on Kimindoji. So I went to cast it on him, but I noticed that Kimindoji and Gammy Gammy Devil were sharing a corner. So when I cast retribution, it casted on both of them at once.
Yeah.
So I had already focused on both of them. So now they were both retributioned, and boom, the battle was over in like 3 turns.
Nice.
It was
that
super easy.
Do they have to be pretty much in the same square then for you to be able to cast retribution on both?
You can't cast retribution on both. This is apparently a not a glitch, but it's just a.
Oh, okay.
It's an Easter egg or something.
That's strange. How much now does Kimindoji strike when he uses like Moon Dance or something?
If he's retributioned or just standard?
Retributioned.
Depends on the enemy's defense, I guess. I'd say anywhere between 400 and 650.
Oh, okay.
But standard, it's anywhere between 190 and 250.
See, I was using... I'll go into that later. But after the fight, Kimindoji kind of threatens the dude to find out more information about where the Dark King Lion is.
Yes. And then the Dark Lion King appears and takes the sword and says, "Hey, now I have the sword to break the seal. I'm going to head to the ruins." Like, he just tells you where he's going to go. But I mean, I guess we already knew where he was going to go because the sword broke the seal at the ruins. So,
yeah, I think that pretty much winds up the second book.
There's a little bit more to it. The Lion King actually attacks Pietro, and the mysterious voice pops back up and commands the king to leave, and the Dark King says, "Yes, sir," which is interesting. I mean, who's he talking to? I thought that the spirit had possessed him. But then the Dark King looks at Pietro and says, "Farewell, dragon spawn." So like, he's actually talking down to his own son, making it sound like it's a bad thing that he's the son of a dragon.
Yeah.
But then there's this little cutscene at the end where a man with a hat informs the mistress, who is a snake, of this magical island called Kotriko is resurfacing. We need to go and retrieve the tablet. And this mistress makes a point of saying that they're all going to be mine. So we don't really know exactly what she's talking about at this point, but are these ruins the same thing that the king is going to... Like, these are the same storyline, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Because they hadn't talked about Kotriko Island at all up to this point.
No, not at all. It was never mentioned.
But there's the cutscene at the end of this is actually pretty cool, where Paolo heads out to the ocean and actually opens up the seal with his sword. I really enjoy the cutscenes in this game. They're so well done.
They're really nice. They look exactly like the anime as well.
Yeah, and
they're really pretty and good voice acting.
There's an
and stuff.
English dub of the anime floating around somewhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe. I don't know if it was very popular, unfortunately. Or at least...
I don't even think it had a North American release.
Yeah. Boo.
I forgot to write down what book 3 is called. Is that something about... Is it just called Dark King?
Island of Ruins.
Island of Ruins, yes.
Heck yeah.
So you're back in the castle. Pietro is confessing to his mother, basically saying that I failed, I suck.
Yeah.
But I want you to know I would do anything to find him. And she actually doesn't object to it. So before, she was telling him, yeah, you need to stay in your room. But now that he disobeyed her, she doesn't care.
That's right.
A+ parenting.
A+ parenting. And she also gives her perspective, which is pretty similar to Paolo's perspective on how he met Pietro's father. How she met Pietro's father.
Yeah, and she even makes a comment about how she understands that, you were forced to grow up from a very young age. So she has this understanding like, hey, he can handle this. But yeah, you're saying about the story?
Yeah, like she says that she was, she goes through the story of when she was attacked by dragon hunters and stabbed in the side with a sword, and she couldn't pull the sword out. So she kept flying with this sword wedged inside her.
It was a cursed sword, right?
A cursed sword, yeah. And Paolo came to the forest where she was lying, where she could no longer fly because of the curse from the sword. And he came along and stumbled across her, and he pulled the sword out. And then I think he just left, and then he came back again one day looking for her.
She left at that point.
Oh, she left?
Yeah, she flew away.
Oh, yeah,
and then halfway home, she realized, she had this affection for this person who saved her. So she went back, and he was gone.
But then she thought she didn't want to startle him, so she transformed into human form.
Correct.
Doesn't go into any explanation of that.
Do you think they knew? Do you think he knew that?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
The human was the dragon?
Exactly.
So I guess the moral of the story that the queen was telling Pietro was basically be courageous and believe in yourself, and then you leave.
Yeah. Exactly.
You head back down to the lobby and meet your pals. You don't have Don and Glon at this time, do you?
No, they're
gone.
They've been substituted out for good now, I hope.
They were really poor filler.
Yeah.
But
no reason.
You find Gilda basically tells you, hey, we found him. Well, no shit, you found him. He's going to the island. She said she found him using the magic well. So you have to head back to Flannel Forest and see the well for yourself. And she sees... What's that?
I was going to say, I like that when you're in the treehouse and she's talking about that she's seen the reflection in the well and that you got to get over to the island. And then Gammy is like, let's just steal a ship. And everyone just looks at him like, what? No, we're not going to do that. He's like, well, we got to get there. Come on.
Whatever happened to his ship?
Yeah, good point. Because that didn't... just a bit of...
It didn't crash. I mean...
all these ships keep going missing.
God.
Also, where's White Knight at this point?
We haven't seen him. He's just took off with Pashchov's boat.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued to know, because he was a great character. He was so strong.
At this point, though, Gilda also shares the story about the war between the Barbarian and the gods, which part of Remoria continent sank as a result, and the part that sank was named Cotrico Island, and that's where the Dark Spirit resides. So is the Dark Spirit the son of darkness that was trapped deep within the earth?
Yeah, it's chaos, is it not? It's the Dark Spirit.
I wonder. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I think it is. Like sealed in the Earth's core, and they're trying to revive it.
So that's how they trapped him.
For 3,000 years.
Yes. I had that written down, but I couldn't figure out my chicken scratch. I'm like, what the hell is Leyrs? Oh, 3K years. I write notes so quickly with this that when I'm writing, I'm like, yep, totally know what that says. Get back to the notes. What the fuck is that?
That's why I have to type everything, because I can't even read my own handwriting. It's bad.
Pretty soon we won't even need pencils.
Exactly.
So obviously we're going to be going near water, and one of the main characters can't go anywhere near that. So Gilda gives Narcia the gold ring?
The gold key.
The gold key that she can use to transform or get near the water. So now we need to head over to Pasella, and this is where we go talk to Pashtov.
Yes. Okay.
I didn't really spend a whole lot of time meandering around town. I kind of wish I would have, because I'm curious to see if any of the characters or any of the NPC stories would have changed.
Yeah, I don't think I talked to anybody either, but I did go to some some shops to see if I could upgrade my equipment, and there was equipment that was being sold that nobody could have equipped.
No, you know who that's for?
I think it's for Kai.
Yeah. So I bought that just because I recognized that and went,
Yeah.
ooh, maybe I should buy this.
Me too. I bought the ring, but I didn't buy anything else. There might have been something else for her.
I think there were two things. I don't remember what it was. But
okay.
You head over to Pashtov. You need to borrow his ship to go. But Pashtov basically says, hey, I've developed a way to keep enemies from attacking the ship, but I need a shaman to take care of this for me. So you need to go stay in the inn and wait for this to be done. This is actually something that I kind of like. It seems like a really stupid thing when you first look at it, but it creates this sense of real time actually occurring within this world where the game will not progress until you go stay in the inn. They very easily could have just said, hey, I had the shaman come and do this, or they could have the shaman just show up coincidentally, like, oh, hey, good timing, they're here for this, and just have you go on your way. But it builds this sense of you're living within this existing, breathing world.
Yeah, because it's not like the scene fades and then fades into an inn and then you automatically staying the night. You actually have to leave the building, go to the inn, pay the 15 gold, stay, and then actually come back in the morning.
Yeah. Well, and this one in particular sets up a plot device as well, where in the middle of the night,
Sure.
Pietro wakes up and heads outside. I mean, obviously his mind is troubled, but Narcia sees him leave and she follows outside, and he's on the docks questioning his ability to actually follow through with what he's told everybody that he can do. And he actually has a little bit of a sniffle moment and starts crying. But ultimately what's bothering him is the ultimate question of, what if I have to face my father in battle? I'm not sure I can draw a sword against him.
Yeah, he's second guessing as to how he'll even be able to cope with fighting his dad.
But Narcia basically says, don't give up, and we can combine forces with Paolo to fight those spirits, because he's not fighting a physical battle. So regardless of how weak you are physically, as long as you're mentally tough, we can combat him. We have to bring him back to the light.
And then Pietro says, like, thanks, Narcia, whenever you give me the perspective on things, it makes me feel better. And then her face kind of goes red for a few seconds.
They're so cute.
And then they kind of just they hug or something, or shake hands. I'm not sure. And then walk back to the. Oh no, they start to walk back towards the inn, and then Gilda's figure appears.
Yes, saying that a monster's attacking Flannel Forest.
Yeah.
By the Cave of Kings.
That's right.
What I thought was funny about this is that they say, okay, we'll be right there. And she goes, no, it's not that big of a deal. Just wait till morning.
Yeah.
Like, if it could have waited, then why did you make yourself appear to us? First of all, how did you know we'd be out by the docks?
Yeah. I just thought I'd give you a heads up so you can get up and set an alarm for the morning.
Yeah. Would you mind showing up around 8?
Yeah. I got a big gargoyle banging on the door, and he's not leaving.
I think he'll wait till at least 9 o'clock to kill me.
Yeah. I've told him I don't want the insurance.
Volcano insurance?
Well, that sounds like a con to me. There ain't a volcano for 10 miles around here.
So this Grog character is guarding the Cave of Kings and won't let anybody pass. So they go back to their hotel room, presumably to stay in their own beds. But a mysterious voice... Oh, you go and fight him, that's right. But then a mysterious voice appears after you defeat Grog. And it says, I hate turning my back on that child, but I can't let you die here, which is really cryptic. I didn't really necessarily understand what that was in reference to. But Pietro didn't hear that voice, but Gammy Gammy Devil did. Did you pick up on that?
I didn't pick up on that.
is really strange because Gammy Gammy makes a comment about something about did you hear that strange voice?
Huh. I didn't know that.
It said something about a woman's voice.
Oh, yeah, okay. The
So that
mysterious
explains
voice.
what
Yeah.
happens at the end of this story. So it's just really like foreshadowing is usually pretty heavy-handed. This game does it pretty subtly.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like going back to the Sabo in the classroom, just making that one little line. That was subtle enough because you could easily miss that, just like I missed the voice.
Yeah. So
Okay.
after you beat Grog, not beat him, but Grog disappears. So, Pietro says he needs to go back to the castle and explain everything that's happening to Sania. So he gets into the throne room, explains to the queen, shows her the dragon sword, which begins to glow, and the queen transfers her powers in order to protect Pietro.
Yeah, she powers up one of the swords,
Yes.
the dragon sword. Yeah, which I didn't equip. Did you?
I don't know.
I didn't equip it because the sword I already had was better. But apparently, if you equip the dragon sword, it levels with you.
What?
So it gets better over time.
Huh.
So it grows as you level, which I
I'm going
probably,
to
so I
need to see
probably
if I
should.
have that.
Yeah, you will have it. You should have it.
I'm just going to see if I have it equipped.
Unless I don't know if you can sell it.
I sell
Thanks,
all
Mom.
my crap.
Yeah,
If I'm
me
not
too.
using it, gone. Which is highly unusual for me because I usually just hoard shit.
Yeah, me too. I'm terrible for it. I'm
Um,
like, I might need that one day.
at this point, there were two ways to get to Cotrico Island. Did you know that?
Yes. I didn't know that.
You can utilize the cave, or you can take a boat.
Oh,
And depending on which way you go, determines which character you have with you.
between who?
Narcia and Kai. Remember, because Narcia can't get close to water, so she has to transform into Kai. So if you
Of
take the
course.
boat, boom, Kai.
What did you do?
I took the boat,
Oh.
and I kind of wish I wouldn't have.
So, I went to the Cave of Kings.
Okay, so you played through the rest of the story with Narcia,
Yeah.
which probably was the more intelligent choice.
Only because I knew Narcia wasn't in my party and I wanted to go back and get her because when you first leave the Cave of Kings after beating whatever the guy's name was, what was it?
Grog.
Grog? Yeah. If you talk to Gilda, I just randomly did. She says something about come back here, Narcia's here, whatever.
Shows how much I cared. I just went straight for the boat.
Yeah, but you just have to get to the end and then she's... Oh no, you just get teleported straight there and Narcia stays with you. Yeah, I didn't realize you could get a boat. But that makes sense why those items are being sold in Pasella
Yeah.
for Kai. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I took the boat, and I wish I wouldn't have for two reasons. First of all, Kai wasn't as good as I was hoping she would have been. But also, once you get to Cotrico Island on the boat, Pashtov says, "Hey, there are too many enemies around." So he leaves and says, "I'll come back tomorrow." So you have
Yes.
no way off the island. Wait, so if you
Nope.
go through the Cave of the King, you use Vasquil's transporter, can you go back?
No. No, you can't go back.
So it's a one-way teleporter.
Yeah.
Got it.
I couldn't leave once I got there. I just grabbed a few chests from the outside and went straight in.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of chests in here with a lot of good stuff.
There's
So-
a good sword for Pietro.
It's not long, but this is what we were talking about before, where it pays to explore a little bit, because there's some chests that are off the beaten path, and none of The dungeons in this game are big. Everything's very concise. It is very much a pocket RPG that has a lot to it. It just doesn't go off. I mean, there are Final Fantasy dungeons that drone on for 45 minutes or an hour, and there's multiple branching paths off of branching paths. And it becomes a little overwhelming to the point where it's like, okay, I'm in this dungeon. I don't have time. I just need to go. This one, everything is small enough where you can see it all in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's perfect for the PSP.
Yeah.
If you consider taking this out, you can just quickly knock together 20 minutes worth of gameplay, and then you can save on the fly.
And I still haven't used that. I always forget about the save on the fly bit.
I use it all the time.
Not me.
Because there aren't many save points, really.
No, there really aren't.
It's just at inns.
You make it into the room where you see the Dark Lion King, and he calls Pietro the Dragon Child and begins attacking him and saying, "Why did you come here? You're just wasting your time. I'm the true Lion King, and I'm going to destroy the world with my dark power." So you fight him, and this is a very difficult fight for one reason. If he uses Warcry, the battle becomes infinitely more difficult.
He never used Warcry for me.
He didn't use it on me until about 10 minutes into the first time I fought him, and then he just obliterated me.
Oh, shit. See, I beat him in about less than 10 minutes, I'd say.
In one go?
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus, you got lucky.
Because Kimonje, whatever his name was. Kimondoji, sorry. If he's focused and retribution, his moon slash does 1,100 damage.
See, you must have leveled him up a little bit.
Yeah, I think I did.
I don't think I leveled him up as much.
Yeah, because there were some good monsters around Tankian Village one of the second time you go there or something. So I spent some time grinding. Not very long, though. Probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to level up.
No, not at all.
So I died once, and then I fought my way back in. I actually had to grind for some gold outside because I didn't really have enough dragon tears. Kai kept dying, which is why I'm kind of pissed off that I took her, because I didn't really have anyone that I could dedicate as a healer. She has her dolphin, but it only heals one person, whereas Narcia has heal rain, which is an area attack. And I didn't want to utilize Pietro's healing because I could be using him for Invoke Lightning.
Invoke Lightning is strong.
Oh, you focus him and Retribution him? And I didn't have Retribution.
Yeah.
So the best I could do would be Focus.
Shit.
So maybe that's why I wasn't hitting for as much, because I didn't Retribution him.
Yeah, that's a hard fight, man.
So the second time I go in, I'm really focused on this because he has some very wide area attacks. He has a lot of the same attacks as Pietro, like Slicing Wind, which covers like 8 blocks, if not more. So if all of your characters are next to each other, they're toast. I mean, it'll take out 75% of their health. So if you have anything less than, anything more than one hit taken on you already, you're done. And that's what took me out the first couple times. Plus, he had Warcry on, which increases his defense and attack.
Shit.
So the second time, I'm being very meticulous about it. I put one person on each side of him at quite a distance, unless they were a short-range attacker. And I knew he had about 7,000 HP, and I was probably about a third to a half of the way through it. And I go to focus Kim and Doji and run away from the battle.
Oh, man.
Which pissed me off because I did not want to do that battle again. You can run away from any battle in this game. Apparently even boss battles. I didn't know that. But the icons look very similar. One of them is a hand pointing and the other is an arrow. And they're right next to each other. So it's super easy to accidentally run away. I was so mad.
God, I didn't even know you could run away from boss battles. That's crazy.
Well, now you do.
Well, if you run away, what happens? Where do you go?
It took me back to the save point outside the ruins. So I had to fight my way back in, and I had to start the fight over with him.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Do you lose all your experience and everything?
No, it wasn't like it wasn't a reload of the save. It just took me back.
But okay.
After this
Still
battle,
annoying.
this is where the game. I made a comment to you earlier about where this game takes a really. It could have taken a very dark turn, and part of me wishes that it would have. But then again, you look at the overall concept of this is a very approachable, child-friendly RPG, so I can
Yeah.
see why they didn't. But after you beat him, Pietro tries to convince him to come back to his mother and to Elena and the citizens of PoPoLoCrois. And the king makes a really dark comment. He says, "Oh, I will come back, all right, and their blood will be on my sword as well." So he's gone super evil, and he's basically talking about killing his family and all of the citizens that he leads.
Yeah.
But Pietro, who's been infused with this power of the dragon sword from his mother, attacks his dad. And as a result, transforms the king back with the light from the dragon sword.
Yep.
And they hug.
And then he appears back in his bushy white beard and green robe, and they hug.
Such a happy
And then even
moment.
Gammy Devil even has a tear. He wipes away a tear.
Poor Gammy. Nobody to hug. Not even Narcia, because she wasn't with. But it was really cool. It would have been neat if they could have fleshed it out a little bit longer and possibly had everything go back a little bit closer to the wire, where he is back in PoPoLoCrois and you have to diffuse the situation with him there. I mean, it was almost too quick of a resolution.
Yeah, it was. They could have expanded on that, and I guess it is just a bridge between the two other main stories, but it did kind of feel a bit kind of stunted at the end.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, I can forgive it knowing that this is a bridge between story 1 and 3. But there was a cutscene at the end, right?
Yes, there was. It was quite short though.
It was with the Serpent Queen.
Oh yes, then the
Saying,
mistress or whatever.
Yeah, the mistress from a cutscene earlier, saying, "I never should have trusted him."
Oh yes, that's right.
And
It looks like there's going to be another big four as well.
another big what?
Like another big four. There's like four more like
No. You know what that's
powerful
about?
enemies.
So she makes a comment.
No.
She commands all of her lackeys to go and get the stone tablets. You need to get
Yes.
one from the King of Men. You need to get one from the King of the Dragons, and you need to get one from the King of the Fairies. And you find out that the Serpent Queen is Myra, and the last thing that she said is she's going to get revenge on he who made me like this.
Oh yes, that's right. And then it ends.
Yes. Such a good cliffhanger on that, because
Yeah.
they'd alluded to Myra before, and I didn't pick up on Sabo's comment at the beginning. What did he say?
Sabo, the bit he says in the classroom is, "Among the gods live Myra, also known as Venus."
And Venus is the goddess of love. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who could it possibly be? Because it can't be King Paolo.
No.
But who would have made her into a serpent? And why does she need those tablets?
Why she needs the tablets, I'm not sure. It's something like didn't she say that she could retain her beauty or something? Bring back her beauty and then come to terms with and get revenge on whoever did whatever it was to her. There's a lot of alluding. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Which is cool because
I
it kind of
can't
leaves
think
that open. Well,
yeah, it really is all open at the moment.
Well, they've resolved the story with the Dark Force. But who? I don't know. Like, it couldn't be Duan.
Could it not?
Well, he's the son of light. He only made chaos.
No. Yeah, that's a interesting one.
Apparently, that's what story 3 is. I think the whole story is entitled Goddess Myra.
Yes, and the first book is called Earth Dragon.
I'm kind of excited for that, to see what new lands it's going to take us to. I hope it goes through. Obviously, yeah, we're going to see the King of Men, which is going to be the realm of PoPoLoCrois.
Yeah,
but
maybe it's Alina.
Oh,
She might have something to do with it.
I'm kind of hoping they take you to this fairy land where everything is a little whimsical and very magical, and then the dark world of the dragons. And I'm predicting we see more expansion upon Sania's past, where you are interacting with the people that once knew Sania as a dragon.
Yeah, I think Sania will play a bigger part, much bigger part.
I'm pumped.
Not just sitting at home with the baby.
This story was definitely not as good as story 1.
No.
It just felt rushed. Everything was very succinct and to the point, and I don't think this whole story took me more than 3 hours, 4 hours at the most.
Yeah, I reckon it probably took, because 4 max.
I think
just with all the dying.
Story 1, I clipped in at just over 10 hours. And I think I'm barely at 14 or 15 now.
Yeah, the story 1 was a strong beginning, and it took a long time. But I think it needed that because, I mean, if the story had kicked off with this second one, it might not have been enough to draw me in.
No.
It was still good, but it's just, it acts as the bridge. It's the interlude. It's the intermission kind of thing, really, for the finale.
I hope they bring White Knight back. I mean, I like Kim and Doji, but White Knight was awesome. He's my Steiner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steiner.
Yeah, I'm excited for this third book now.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like you said, it's a little slow going to get into, but I'm enjoying it.
Heck yeah. Really good.
Let's see. Any last thoughts or predictions on PoPoLoCrois?
I don't think so. I like to keep it all open. I mean, we've theorized a bit, but I'm just going to let it kind of take my hand and see where it goes. But it's just a fantastic little game. Really enjoying it. And we should definitely get the third story in the bag before Christmas.
Oh man, that's going to be a rush. You think you can pound 10 hours in the next 2 weeks?
I probably can, actually. But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll tentatively shoot for it. Otherwise, we'll finish it up eventually.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
We don't have any emails. If you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com. We are going to be setting up a new email that's going to be at factory-sealed.com, but since we've used the other email for 78 episodes, we're still going to have that one stay active. In case people are listening to episode 35 and want to send us their thoughts about Mother 3. We are also, 4 days into our Patreon campaign already?
Yeah, that's right.
And it has surpassed all of our expectations. We were expecting it to be, you guys, here's a few bucks. You guys have made it to past one milestone goal already, which was basically the site can now continue to run ad-free because we're now bringing in enough to pay for things, which means we can roll over that money that we were putting into site hosting into other fun things like game giveaways. So we have 3 patrons right now who have backed us. We've got Brianna Miller, Brian, and then one of our other really close shows that we keep in touch with, Two Dudes and a Ness, are supporting us as well. So definitely check them out. But we are $4 away, $4 away from doing weekly game giveaways. So again, once we crest that, even if you haven't donated, you can still benefit from the weekly game giveaways. But if you are one of the patrons or supporters, you get extra entries into the digital game giveaways. So again, like we said last time, the show is going to go on in the same capacity that it always has. We're just going to give back a hell of a lot more than we already have been able to.
Heck yeah.
I think I can speak for everyone when I say we're not trying to make this our job.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But thanks so much for your support.
It's crazy. Dan made this cool little flow chart that we put on the Patreon page, which patreon.com/factorysealed kind of outlines. If you don't like to read, Dan made a cool article that basically outlines what we're doing and why we're doing it. But yeah, we've got pictures of all the cool rewards up there. So it's all just cool stuff that you guys can take part of and be a part of the show. So thank you for your support on that. We're
awesome.
We are awesome. What's on the docket for this Sunday? Oh, Wipeout 64
Wipeout
and
a bit of San Francisco Rush.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about Rush.
Rush.
I've been playing it on the Midway Arcade collection for the Wii.
Very nice.
Good.
Very nice.
Good game. All right, Mr. Reagan, I think that's going to do it for us today. Any closing thoughts?
Enjoy that candy.
Oh, dude, I will. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, one of the rewards that people are jumping on right now that we've gotten some pretty cool feedback on is the Factory Sealed Unwrapped. So there's a reward in there at $10 or more per month where we basically give you a fully uncut version of the show. So every week before the show starts, we all hop into a call and just get things ready. And there's a lot of stupid banter that happens within there. So people have said they really, really enjoy that. And we post those directly on Patreon, so you get notified when those go up. There's a lot. I listened back to it. There's a lot of dumb shit we talk about. Like, it's just random ass banter.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's pretty funny. I mean, for example, Dan wrote up show notes for the last one, and we were sharing our thoughts about. Let's see here. Where is it?
Yeah,
Patreon's a slow site.
That first 20 minutes, just calling me.
Oh yeah, I decided I wanted to make Tom far more posh than he already is, and rename him to Yamas. Jess shared her fascination with nutscaping, where people hang their nuts into a landscape photo. Just a lot of stupid shit before the show actually starts. So
yeah,
definitely a thought.
$10, you can get access to that.
You get access to that and access to all the additional entries into the giveaways and things like that. So it compounds and builds on top of each other. But, you know, if you don't want to donate, whatever, you're still going to get the show the same as it's always been. Tom,
yep.
Where can we find you on Twitter?
You can grab me at Factory Sealed. Was it Factory?
That's not
_
right.
Sealed.
That's not right.
Is it not?
That's not your Twitter.
Yeah, but that's like our Factory Sealed Twitter.
Well, yeah, but where can we get you?
Oh, if you want to get a hold of me, it's at Hyperjelly.
Okay. If you want to get a hold of me on the Twitter, you can find me at Honest Pizza. We have our official one at Factory _Sealed. Tom, that's going to do it for this Thursday edition.
Woohoo!
We'll see you guys in 4 days.
Bye-bye.
Bye.